What is up, everybody? Happy Tuesday. You are back with Coach Morgan. And I was meaning to do this chat yesterday, but the powers that be over on the interwebs at Facebook and Instagram had other plans. So here we are today, Tuesday afternoon. And really, off the start, just want to do a touch point on our back to basics challenge that we've been doing for the last 30 days as we're coming up. I think today was actually day 30 officially, I believe, if I'm remembering correctly. But just want to touch base on that, see how everyone's doing. Let us know in the comments of these videos or send me a message how you're doing. It's been a fun 30 days of kind of getting back to the basic, simple things that we do on a day-to-day basis that really make an impact in our life, that make an impact in our health and our wellness and how we feel. And I know a lot of you have been sticking with the day-to-day tasks and habits you've been doing, or utilizing the tasks and ideas that I've been posting every single day to challenge yourself a little bit more on a day-to-day basis, to try something new, try some new recipes, go out for those walks, whatever it may be that you've been challenging yourself to do over the last 30 days. So we're coming up on, I think today, if I remember correctly, was the official last day of it. And then one more post will go out tomorrow for you guys, just to kind of round out the last 30 days of stuff. So if you are interested in further diving into creating positive habits in your life and how to do that, if these last 30 days have kind of triggered something for you as far as, this is an area I really want to dig into and get some further help on, let me know. Let us know. We are happy to help you dig into those habits a little bit more and really figure out how you can create them into something that you don't have to think about as much moving forward. So with that, what I wanted to really talk today about was something that I posted about on my Instagram today, which underlying concept, underlying idea surrounds showing up. It surrounds showing up for what you're doing. And I think that this is relevant given that we're at the end of the 30-day Back to Basics challenge, because it asks you guys to show up every day and perform a task or perform an action that furthered your health and wellness, that helped you improve in your health and wellness. And that simple task of, I say simple, but that simple task of showing up was something that is very powerful when we begin to understand the opportunity that therein lies the action of showing up. And so my post today on my Instagram, if you haven't gotten to see it, go check it out. But my post today on Instagram, it came from an experience that I had the other day in my training, where I was going for a 1 rep max jerk, shoulder to overhead movement. And I was going along, lifting heavier loads, trying to find that max. And I hit what arguably was close or maybe at my previous best. I don't know how long ago. It's been a while since I tested that movement. But it was at that. And the weight went up really easy. Felt really good. And so I kind of got ahead of myself in my choice for my next weight to go up. And my ego kind of came in a little bit. My competitive spirit came in a little bit. And I was like, let's go for it. And I threw on more than what I probably should have if I was like coaching someone to do. I threw on 20 pounds instead of probably about 10 is what I should have put on the bar. But I threw on 20 pounds. I was like, let's go for it. Let's send it. Let's see what happens. And I missed the lift. And I kind of laugh about it. But looking at it and looking back on the video of it and a conversation that I actually had with one of our members, Doug, afterwards about it, really sparked this idea in my head around, showing up and being willing to show up. And like I say in the post, something that my grandmother used to say, which was, if you don't ask, the answer is always no. Again, if you don't ask, the answer is always no. And this resonated with me, and this reminded me of her saying that to me, because if you don't show up, the results will never happen. If you don't show up, the results are always unknown. If you don't show up, how do you know where you can improve? Because that's the thing. We all show up. We all come to a gym or come to someone for our health or our wellness or our mindset or whatever it is, knowing that there's work to do. And yet, when that work kind of smacks us in the face a little bit, or when adversity kind of smacks us in the face a little bit, we often kind of get freaked out by it and we kind of withdraw a little bit, right? Versus showing up with that mindset of, if you don't ask, the answer is always no. Or when it comes to our training, if you don't try, if you don't show up, the effect or the outcome or the results are left unknown, right? When I did that lift, yes, I knew going into that lift, I put 20 pounds on the bar. After missing that lift, in my head, the first thing that didn't spark in my head was, you suck. You're not strong enough for that lift. The first thing that popped in my head was, damn it, I know I could get that lift. I know I have it, right? But I knew that my mind had kind of talked myself out of the lift. It wasn't that my body wasn't capable of the lift. My mind kind of talked myself out of the lift, because in my head, I had said to myself, ooh, you're putting on 20 pounds. You should probably put on 10, right? The smarter move would have been put on 10. Put on 20. All right, let's go for it. Let's get after it, right? And I was there. Mentally, I was there, right? I've done this long enough. I've worked on my mindset long enough when it comes to my training to know, like, hey, well, let's just fucking do it. Let's go. But it doesn't mean that thoughts don't creep in my head, right? It doesn't mean that I don't have those moments in my head where I'm like, oh, that's a big ass jump, man. Like, this is going to be interesting, right? And then technically looking at the video afterwards, I was like, all right, so your head kind of talked you out of it more than your body wasn't capable of it. Going again, what did the weight feel like? Well, the weight didn't feel that bad, any more heavy than what the previous rep felt like. And watching the video back of it, I knew that there's just some technical things that I needed to do, right, to get under the bar, but those were all things I was capable of. I was capable of doing those things, right? I knew I could do those things. I needed to do them at that weight. I needed to do them better than what I did in that rep. And so I left it there for that day, right? At that point, I was done the time in order to complete it. It is what it is that day. And I was happy with what I hit that day. It was a good lift that I hit. I was happy with that previous lift that I made. And I had an opportunity, and I presented myself with an area of opportunity to learn something, to grow, to develop. Because again, if we come into these moments, if we come into these environments or into these processes of developing and working on our health and fitness with this idea that there's not going to be challenge, we're being naive. I think we can all agree that we come into these things knowing it's going to be a challenge. It's going to be tough. It's going to be work. And if we can get to a place of comfort with that, get to a place of that means that there's opportunity for us, then we open ourselves up to actually learning, to actually allowing ourselves to grow. And it starts with showing up. It starts with being ready to just simply show up in that moment to the best that you can in that moment. In that moment, my head was like, dude, you put on 20 pounds extra on that bar. That's probably bigger than you needed to, or than you should, right? But in that moment, I was like, okay, screw it. Still going to show up, still going to go for it, see what happens, right? Now, I'm not saying that you all should just throw an extra 20 pounds in the bar and go for it. That's by no means what I'm saying, right? As a coach, that's not what I'm saying. But I am saying in those moments of just, okay, it's time to show up today. And maybe I'm showing up at 50% today. Maybe I'm showing up at 100% today. But I am showing up, and I'm going to try, and I'm going to see what I can learn from this moment today. Because every time that we show up, whether it's in the gym to train, whether it's in our relationship, whether it's learning something new at school, every time we go and we show up, we present ourselves an opportunity. And it's on us to take that opportunity. It's on us to grab a hold of that opportunity, to ask ourselves, what can I learn from this time, from this moment of showing up? It's on us to do that work. But in showing up, we allow ourselves to figure out a yes or no. We allow ourselves to visualize and realize a result that can move the needle forward for us, or at least create a direction, a path that we can potentially go down. So after these last 30 days of back to basics, if you have followed along with that, if you have not, that's okay too. I can send you the PDF if you want it. Either way, 30 days that you've just done, or, training that you've done in the last week, or a challenge that you faced in this last period of time, you showing up provides you the opportunity, provides you an area of opportunity to learn. And that is something that is so valuable if we can switch our thought process from being afraid to fail, afraid to screw up, afraid to not be able to do something. Right? When I see people sit in the gym and step in the gym, there's such a fear, or there's such a downing on themselves for not being able to do something right now, when that is in and of itself a brilliant opportunity to become something more. Because if everything was always perfect, if everything was always able, and you just could do everything, all the weights, all the things, all the whatever right now, what the hell would be the point of that? There'd be no area for growth. Your body wouldn't develop, your mind wouldn't develop, because it's just stagnant. It's neutral. It's the same. There's nothing to challenge that system. And I would agree, I think we would all agree, that we're all looking to challenge ourselves and develop ourselves. We wouldn't come into the gym and challenge ourselves if we weren't. But let's go deeper than just saying that. Let's apply that principle and that idea to those moments where we find and face struggle in our day-to-day, in our fitness, in our health. Apply it to those moments so that you can look at it as areas of opportunity to grow. So as we move forward from here, the next 30 days, right? And we're beginning of October right now. The next 30 days, I want to challenge you to show up. Show up every day. That might not mean showing up to the gym every day, but show up for you every day over these next 30 days and see what changes for yourself. Show up for you over these next 30 days in a way that you are open to learning about yourself and what you're capable of. Show up in a way that you are willing to address and ask yourself, what did I do well? What could I work on? And what do I need help with? Show up in a way that you don't judge yourself if you're only able to give 50% today versus yesterday you could give 85. Show up in a way that you would be proud of if you look back on it a year from now. That's what I want you to do over the next 30 days. And yes, this is my fancy pointer that I'm waving at all of you guys. You too on Instagram. All right, so show up over these next 30 days. Be present in the moment. Give yourself the opportunity. Ask the question, because if you don't ask, the answer is always no. If you don't show up, the result is always unknown. So show up over these next 30 days. You might surprise yourself with what you can accomplish. Hope that helps. Let me know if you have any questions. Talk to you all soon. Function better, level up, all the things. Love you all.